Captain Alara Voss sat in the control seat of the submersible Aegis, her eyes fixed on the glowing monitors before her. The hum of the engines filled the cabin as the craft moved silently through the deep waters of Thalacia. The planet had been colonized only a few decades ago, but its oceans were vast, mysterious, and mostly unexplored. Even with the most advanced equipment, the depths held secrets that could challenge humanity's understanding of life itself. "Captain," said Lieutenant Kale, pointing at the sonar screen, "I'm picking up something unusual. It's irregular, not natural formations. Not any known wrecks either." Ilara leaned closer, her brow furrowing. The blips on the screen shimmered like tiny stars scattered across the blackness of the ocean floor. But there was a pattern to them, something deliberate. She had seen many wrecks before, but these readings were different. They radiated a faint energy signature that the Aegis's scanners could detect, something almost alive. "Slow down," she ordered. "I want a closer look. Keep the external cameras active. Let's see what we're dealing with before we get too close." The submersible descended further, deeper than most humans had ever gone on Thalacia. The water grew colder, darker, and heavier. Light from the surface vanished completely, leaving only the glow of the Aegis's floodlights cutting through the thick blue-black. Then, as if emerging from a dream, the shapes began to appear, massive silhouettes resting quietly on the ocean floor. "By the stars," Kale whispered. "Are those ships?" Ilara's heart skipped. The shapes were unmistakable. They were Galleons, ancient wooden ships that should have been lost to time on Earth centuries ago. But here they were, resting beneath the waves, perfectly preserved, as if time had forgotten them. Their masts reached upward like frozen trees, their sails long gone, leaving only the skeletal frames glinting faintly in the submersible's lights. "Bring us closer," Lara said, her voice steady but filled with awe. "I want full scans." Slowly. "We don't know what we're dealing with." As the Aegis approached, the team noticed something even stranger. The water around the ships shimmered with a silver hue, like liquid metal reflecting their lights. It flowed around the Galleons in gentle waves, and when the submersible touched it, the water seemed to push back, almost alive. "Silver waves," Kale murmured, astonished. "I've never seen anything like this." "It's like the water itself is protecting them," Lara nodded. "It's beautiful and dangerous. Keep scanners active. We need to understand this before touching anything." The crew worked in silence, awe mixing with tension. The Galleons seemed too large and too well preserved to be natural. Some had ornate carvings on their hulls, intricate patterns that even modern craftsmen would struggle to replicate. Others carried rusted cannons and long-dead rigging, reminders of Earth's seafaring past. Suddenly, soft vibration ran through the hull of the Aegis. The monitors flickered. Kale leaned forward. "Captain, the energy readings are spiking. Something's moving inside the silver water." Lyra's fingers tightened on the control panel. "Steady. Let's see what it is. Keep the cameras on. No sudden moves." A shadow passed beneath the submersible. It was huge, gliding silently, shimmering in and out of the silver light. It was unlike any creature known to science. Its body was long and fluid, like living liquid, yet its form suggested intelligence. The team held their breath. The shadow watched them, circling the Galleons, then vanished as quickly as it had appeared. "We're not alone down here," Kale said quietly. Ilara nodded, her mind racing. This planet, it has been hiding its secrets well. These Galleons, this silver water, something is guarding them, and I have a feeling we weren't supposed to find them yet. For hours, the Aegis moved among the Galleons. The crew recorded images, scanned hulls, and took note of energy patterns. Every Galleon had its own unique shimmer in the silver waves, almost like a heartbeat. The larger ship, which they later called the Silver Seraph, seemed to hum with power, radiating energy that the submersible's sensors could barely interpret. Kale tapped the console. "The energy readings are strange. Not dangerous, not exactly. But they're active. Alive, maybe." Lyra studied the scans. "We need to be very careful. If these ships are truly alive in some way, disturbing them could have consequences we can't predict." This could be the most important discovery in human history. Or the most dangerous. Night fell on Thalasia's surface, but in the depths, the silver waves glowed brighter, creating an otherworldly light show. The galleons rested peacefully, yet there was a sense of anticipation in the water. It was as if they had been waiting for someone to arrive. Ilara adjusted her seat and looked at her crew. "We will stay for a while, document everything, but no boarding yet. We observe, we learn, and we respect what we find. These ships, they belong to the past, but they might also belong to the future." Hours passed. The submersible hovered near the Silver Seraph. Its hull reflected the silver waves, creating patterns that danced across the interior of the Aegis. Then, the unthinkable happened. A small section of the galleon's deck lifted slightly, as if responding to their presence. The silver water around it pulsed. Kale gasped. "Captain, it's moving. The ship. It's reacting to us." Ilara's mind raced. "It's alive. Or at least it's aware. Maintain distance. Document everything. No rash actions." The crew recorded images and data frantically, their excitement and fear mingling in equal measure. They realized they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Galleons preserved not by luck, but by a force beyond human understanding. These were not ordinary shipwrecks. They were messages from the past, hidden and guarded, waiting for the right explorers to find them. Ilara leaned back in her seat, letting the hum of the engine soothe her nerves. "We need to report this to the council," she said. "But we need to keep this quiet until we understand it." "The world isn't ready for this kind of discovery yet," Kel nodded, still staring at the glowing silver waves. "Captain, do you think anyone else knows these ships are here?" Ilara shook her head. "No, and if they do, it doesn't matter. We're the first to find them. That means we have the responsibility to understand them. Whatever this force is, it chose to reveal itself to us." The crew spent the remaining hours observing the galleons in silence. Occasionally, shadows moved across the hulls, strange shapes that were neither fish nor known deep-sea creatures. The silver waves shimmered like liquid light, creating a scene of haunting beauty. Before they returned to the surface, Ilara made one last observation. These galleons, they are not just relics. They are guardians, and we must treat them as such. The Aegis slowly ascended, leaving the silver waves and the sleeping galleons behind. As they broke the surface, the night sky of Thalasia stretched above them, filled with stars. The crew remained quiet, each lost in thought about what they had witnessed. Lair watched the waves ripple under the moonlight, imagining the galleons lying silently beneath, waiting. She knew this was only the beginning. The real journey would come when they dared to step aboard the Silver Seraph, to uncover the secrets it had held for centuries beneath the silver waves. And somewhere deep below, the galleons seemed to pulse gently, as if acknowledging their discovery. The ocean whispered a promise of adventure, danger, and knowledge beyond imagination. Humanity had found its past, but in doing so, it had awakened a story that could shape the future. The lost galleons were sleeping quietly beneath the silver waves. But soon, they would awaken. The day after their first encounter with the silver-shimmering galleons, Captain Ilara Voss and her crew prepared the submersible Aegis for a deeper exploration. The ocean of Thalasia seemed calm from above, its surface reflecting the light of the distant twin suns. But beneath the waters were alive with secrets. Waiting silently for those brave enough to seek them, Ilara gathered her team in the cabin. "Yesterday, we discovered something extraordinary," she began, her voice steady. "These galleons are not ordinary wrecks. The silver waves around them, they are protecting something. We don't yet know what. Our job today is to observe, document, and, if possible, understand what keeps them preserved." Lieutenant Kale leaned forward, his eyes bright with excitement. "Captain, the energy signatures we recorded last night there, stronger near the largest galleon, the Silver Seraph. There's something beneath that hull. Something powerful." Ilara nodded. "We'll start there. But remember, we move carefully. One wrong move, and we could disturb whatever's keeping them intact." The Aegis descended once again into the dark ocean, its lights cutting through the heavy blue-black water. As they approached the Galleons, the crew noticed subtle changes. The silver waves shimmered more brightly, almost as if they were aware of the submersible's presence. Shapes moved within the glow, tiny currents that seemed to pulse like living veins. Kale adjusted the sensors. It's responding to us? Look, these waves. They form patterns, like signals. Alara studied the display. Patterns or warnings, we don't know. Keep scanning, but don't touch anything yet. The submersible hovered near the Silver Seraph, and the crew began a careful examination. Using robotic arms, they extended scanners toward the Galleon's hull, collecting data without disturbing the surrounding water. Every scan revealed more surprises. The wood of the ship was not decayed. Even the ropes, sails, and carvings were intact, preserved as though time had stopped for them centuries ago. It's incredible, whispered Kale. This preservation, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. No chemicals, no vacuum, just the water itself. Alara's gaze swept across the deck. This isn't natural. Something or someone is keeping them this way. The silver waves are not random. They're designed. As they continued scanning, the submersible's cameras captured movement in the distance. At first it was subtle, a ripple, a shimmer, but gradually it took form. A creature emerged from the depths, its body long and flowing, made entirely of bioluminescent water energy. It glided gracefully, observing them, its presence both mesmerizing and unsettling. Kale swallowed hard. Is it intelligent? It's watching us, Captain. Lara nodded slowly. It's possible. Whatever is preserving these ships may not be passive. We have to respect it. Hours passed as the Aegis carefully circled the Galleons. The crew discovered strange markings on the hulls, patterns etched into the wood in spirals and lines, almost like a code. Some of the markings seemed familiar symbols from ancient human navigation, but others were unlike anything known to Earth. Captain, said Dr. Leora, the team's historian and archaeologist, these markings, they tell a story. At least, I think they do. They speak of journeys across water, of discovery, and guardianship. Whoever made these Galleons wanted them remembered and protected. Lara's mind raced. Guardianship. That fits with the silver waves, the energy. These ships were meant to survive. Someone wanted them preserved until the right people came. Kale frowned. But why here? Why beneath all this pressure, in a place no one could reach? These ships should be lost to history, yet here they are, perfectly preserved. Alara remained silent, watching the silver waves ripple gently around the Galleons. Because Thalassia is special. Its waters are alive in a way we don't yet understand. And maybe whoever preserved these Galleons knew we would come eventually. The submersible's sensors suddenly detected a spike in energy near the Silver Seraph. The water around the ship began to pulse and shimmer, forming a barrier that the Aegis could barely penetrate. Captain, Kale exclaimed. The waves, they're reacting. It's like they know we're here. Lara tightened her grip on the controls. Steady. Keep your distance. Observe, don't interfere. The silver waves around the Galleon formed arches of light, rising and falling like liquid towers. Inside, the crew could see glimpses of the ship's interior, glowing faintly with a strange, otherworldly energy. Every detail was preserved: the captain's cabin, the maps, even the tiniest carvings on the railings. It's alive, Kale whispered, awed. The ship itself, or the water around it. It's like a heartbeat, Alara nodded. A heartbeat of history, and it's waiting for us to understand it. The team decided to examine a smaller galleon nearby, hoping to learn more before attempting the Silver Seraph. They carefully approached, keeping the Aegis just above the silver waves. Scans revealed hidden compartments, some containing relics of navigation tools, charts of stars long forgotten, and logbooks written in an elegant, archaic hand. Dr. Leora's voice trembled with excitement. These logbooks. They are records of journeys across the oceans of Earth before humanity left the planet. And some entries. They hint at other worlds. I think these explorers had knowledge we have only begun to rediscover. Kale added, and the silver waves. They weren't just protecting the ships from decay. They were guarding knowledge, waiting for explorers worthy enough to find it. As they scanned the smaller galleon, the bioluminescent creature reappeared. It circled the submersible slowly, moving with grace and intelligence. The crew held their breath, not wanting to provoke it. The creature's glow pulsed in rhythm with the silver waves, as if communicating. "It's testing us," Alara said softly. "We are intruders in its world, and it wants to see why we're here." Ours turned into days as the Aegis explored the Galleons. The crew mapped every detail, cataloged every artifact, and recorded the patterns in the silver waves. They noticed that the water reacted not only to their presence, but also to their actions. When they moved gently, the waves remained calm. When they approached recklessly, the waves pulsed violently, almost like a warning. One evening, as the submersible hovered near the Silver Seraph, a faint glow appeared from inside the ship. The light spread across the deck, illuminating symbols and carvings in a way that made them almost readable. Dr. Leora gasped. "Captain, the markings. They are more than decoration. They are instructions. They tell us how to move within the ship safely. This is a guide, left for us, or perhaps for anyone who arrives in the future." Ilara's eyes widened. Then this was meant to be found. The ship wants to be discovered, but only by those who are careful, respectful, and worthy. Kale shook his head in disbelief. "It's incredible. These Galleons, they survived centuries underwater, guarded by whatever this silver energy is, and now they're teaching us. They're alive in a way we can barely understand." Alara placed a hand on the console, her eyes reflecting the shimmering waves. "This is only the beginning. We've uncovered part of a story, but the deeper truth, the real secret of these Galleons, is still hidden." As the Aegis prepared to return to the surface, the crew took one last look at the Silver Seraph. Its hull gleamed faintly under the silver waves, majestic and silent. Somewhere within it lay the knowledge of explorers long gone. Preserved by forces beyond human understanding, Alara felt a mix of awe and responsibility. "We've found a treasure greater than gold," she said quietly. "Knowledge, history, and guidance from those who came before us. But we must be careful. The ocean is testing us, and the Galleons. They will reveal their secrets only to those who prove themselves worthy." The submersible ascended slowly, leaving the silver waves behind. On the surface, the twin suns of Thalicia reflected on calm waters. The crew remained silent, each lost in thought about the incredible discovery beneath them. Alara looked out at the horizon, her heart filled with determination. "Tomorrow, we go back. We must understand more. We must learn what the Galleons are trying to teach us, and we must respect their guardianship, no matter the challenge." The lost Galleons slept quietly beneath the silver waves, waiting. But the crew of the Aegis knew that the next time they returned, the Galleons would not remain entirely silent. Their secrets would begin to awaken, revealing truths that could change humanity forever. The next dive was different from the previous ones. Captain Alara Voss felt it in her bones before the Aegis even broke the surface of Thalicia's vast ocean. The Galleons, resting silently beneath silver waves, seemed to call them back. There was purpose now, urgency. As if the ocean itself had decided it was time to reveal more. "Ilara," Kale said from the control seat, "the readings are stronger. The Silver Seraph, it's active. The energy signature is higher than yesterday." Ilara nodded. "I know, we've been observers for too long. It's time to learn what the Galleons are trying to teach us." The submersible descended into the depths, its light slicing through the darkness. The silver waves shimmered more brightly than ever before, wrapping the Galleons in a glow that seemed alive. As they approached the Silver Seraph, the water pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat, responding to the presence of the crew. "Look at that," Dr. Leora whispered, pointing at the deck. "The silver waves. They're forming patterns again. This time, more deliberate. It's like they're guiding us." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Guiding us where?" Kale adjusted the submersible's external cameras. towards the main entrance of the ship. The waves are opening a path, almost like a doorway. The Aegis moved cautiously, following the shimmering guide. As they reached the deck, the ship itself seemed to react. Panels in the wood shifted slightly, revealing a hidden staircase leading into the interior. The submersible's lights illuminated the path, and for the first time, the crew saw the true majesty of the Silver Seraph. Its deck was wide and perfectly intact, the carvings of its rails glowing softly under the silver waves. Ilara took a deep breath. We are stepping into history, and something more. Stay close, everyone. Inside the galleon, the atmosphere was different from anything they had encountered. The air was thick, yet breathable, though no ordinary life existed within. The silver glow of the waves extended into the interior, outlining the cabins, corridors, and chambers. Every detail was preserved maps on tables, compasses frozen in mid-turn, and even journals lying open. As if the crew had stepped away only moments ago, Dr. Leora moved carefully, her hands hovering over the artifacts. It's incredible. Every detail. The explorers of the past wanted this to survive. But why here, beneath these strange silver waves? Kale bent down to examine a hatch in the floor. Captain, there's a lower chamber. The energy readings are strongest there. Whatever is guarding this ship, it's below. Lara nodded. Let's go. But keep scanning. The ocean intelligence, if it is intelligent, may not like surprises. The crew descended into the lower chamber, the staircase widening into a hall lined with carvings and strange symbols. At the center of the room stood a pedestal, and on it, a holographic device activated as they approached. A soft glow filled the chamber, and a figure appeared, dressed in the uniforms of centuries past. Its image flickering like a projection from another time. The crew froze. Dr. Leora whispered, "It's a record. A hologram of the original crew." The figure spoke in a calm, formal tone, the language strangely familiar yet slightly archaic. "To those who discover us, we greet you. We are the explorers of Earth's first interstellar ocean voyages. We charted the stars and the seas, seeking knowledge and understanding. These galleons, our legacy, were entrusted to forces beyond your understanding to survive until you were ready." Alara stepped forward, awe in her eyes. "Ready for what?" The hologram continued. "Knowledge is a gift, but only to those who respect the past and the guardians of these waters. The silver waves that surround us are alive. They preserve, protect, and test. They choose those who may enter and learn. The Silver Seraph carries technology, wisdom, and guidance. But you must prove your intentions are pure, for the waves can reject or embrace you." Kale glanced at Alara. "Captain, this is bigger than we imagined. These ships, they were never just vessels. They're living libraries." Dr. Leora examined the pedestal, and the logs, maps, the journals. They contain not only navigation knowledge, but also records of our ancestors' travels beyond Earth. They discovered worlds that were lost to history, and they hid this information intentionally. It's remarkable. The hologram projected images of planets, oceans, and distant stars, as if offering the crew a glimpse of the explorers' journeys. Each projection shimmered in the silver waves, blending with the energy of the water itself. Ilara's mind raced. So the silver waves. They are not passive. They are alive, sentient in a way. They protected the Galleons for centuries, and now they are guiding us. We were chosen to find them. Kale reached toward one of the holographic projections. "Captain, look, it's a sequence. The Galleon's energy systems, they can be activated. This is what made the waves shimmer yesterday. We triggered part of it without realizing." Lara nodded slowly. "Then we must proceed with care, activating the systems fully. We don't know what will happen, but it may be the only way to unlock the knowledge these Galleons hold." The crew worked together, following the patterns displayed by the hologram. Panels in the floor and walls moved, revealing intricate mechanisms hidden within the galleon. The silver waves responded to their actions, pulsing and flowing around them like a living force. Then, the soft hum that vibrated through the hull, the Silver Seraph's energy systems fully awakened. The water around the galleons shimmered violently yet beautifully. Streams of silver light spiraled around the ship, forming shapes that suggested eyes, wings, and hands. The ocean itself seemed to come alive. Dr. Leora gasped. The ship. The waves. They are aware of us. Ilara steadied herself. They know our intentions. That's why they're reacting. We have proven curiosity, courage, and respect. Now, they are testing our understanding. The holographic figure spoke again, its voice echoing through the chamber. You have awakened what was meant to be preserved. Know that knowledge comes with responsibility. The lessons of the past are powerful. They can guide your civilization, or overwhelm it. Approach with care, wisdom, and unity. Kale's eyes were wide. Captain, do you realize what this means? These galleons. They carry the wisdom of explorers who lived before we even left Earth. They could change everything about our colonies. Our technology, even how we understand the universe. Ilara nodded, feeling the weight of discovery pressing upon her. Yes, but first, we must earn the right to learn. The waves are alive. The galleons are alive. And they will only reveal themselves fully if we prove ourselves worthy. The silver waves around the ship began to settle, forming a calm, glowing field. The hologram projected one final message before fading. The journey you begin now is only the beginning. Knowledge is not given freely. It must be sought, understood, and respected. Those who succeed will inherit the legacy of the Silver Seraph. The crew spent hours in the chamber, examining the mechanisms, the holographic recordings, and the artifacts. Each discovery revealed more about the explorers' journeys, their intentions, and the mysteries of the silver waves. They realized that the galleons were not only preserved for protection, but also for education. Kale looked around, awe in his eyes. Captain, we've awakened the past. But I think the past is also testing us. The ocean intelligence. It's alive, and it's watching. We are part of its plan now. Ilara placed her hand on the console, feeling the hum of energy beneath the waves. Then we proceed with respect and caution. We have a responsibility to understand, to learn, and to carry this knowledge forward. The galleons have chosen us. Now, we must rise to the challenge. As the crew prepared to leave the Silver Seraph for the night, the silver waves shimmered once more, pulsing like a heartbeat. Somewhere in the depths, the ocean seemed to whisper approval. The galleons, long dormant, had awakened. Their secrets were beginning to unfold. Ilara gazed out at the horizon of Thalassius Ocean from the Aegis, the twin suns reflected off the surface. But her mind remained in the depths, with the Silver Seraph, the silver waves, and the ancient explorers who had left a legacy waiting for humanity to uncover for the first time. She felt the true magnitude of what lay beneath the silver waves. These galleons were more than ships. They were keepers of knowledge, guardians of history, and guides to the future, and the adventure had only just begun. The ocean of Thalassia was alive in ways the crew of the Aegis had only begun to understand. The Silver Seraph rested beneath the shimmering waves, no longer silent, no longer entirely still. Its energy hummed like a heartbeat, and the silver waters pulsed gently, guiding, testing. And watching Captain Ilara, Voss took a deep breath as the submersible descended once more. Remember, she said, the galleons are not just preserved. They are alive in some way. And the ocean intelligence, it will test us. We proceed carefully together, and with respect. Lieutenant Kale nodded, his fingers tightening on the console. I've never seen anything like this, Captain. The readings, whatever's down there, is conscious, aware of us. Dr. Leora, examining her datapad, added, and it's not just awareness. The silver waves are interacting with our scanners, forming patterns almost like questions or challenges. As the Aegis approached the Silver Seraph, the water shimmered violently for a moment, then calmed. A path of silver light opened across the deck, spiraling down into the ship's lower chambers. It was clear the galleon was inviting them to proceed, but on the ocean intelligence's terms, Eler guided the Aegis carefully down the path. The submersible's lights illuminated the hallways, revealing carvings, markings, and holographic panels that had not been visible before. The air seemed thicker, charged with energy. The crew could feel it pressing gently against their bodies, as if the ocean itself was alive and testing their resolve. "Keep your eyes open," Ilara said softly. "We do not know what these tests will be." The first trial appeared as soon as they entered the central chamber. The floor shifted beneath the aegis, forming moving patterns of silver light. The holographic projections of the ancient crew appeared once more, their images flickering with urgency. "To proceed," the projection said, "you must navigate the path without disturbing the balance of the waters. Patience, precision, and cooperation are required. One wrong step, and the test resets." Kale's eyes widened. It's a puzzle, a physical one. But with the waves themselves, Ilara studied the shifting silver pathways. We move slowly, communicate. Every movement matters. Hours passed as they carefully guided the aegis through the first trial. The silver waves reacted instantly to each adjustment, flowing, pulsing, and reshaping the path. The crew worked in perfect synchrony, their trust in one another deepening as they learned to read the subtle cues of the ocean intelligence. Finally, path straightened, the silver light calming. The hologram appeared once again. "You have demonstrated patience and cooperation. The first trial is complete. The second awaits." The next challenge was deeper, within the heart of the Silver Seraph. The chamber walls shifted, revealing a network of tunnels and hidden passages, some collapsing, some glowing with energy. The Aegis had to navigate through these narrow corridors, avoiding pressure currents that threatened to push them off course. "Hold steady," Ilara commanded. "The waves are testing our control, our precision. Do not rush." Kale's hands moved deftly on the controls, guiding the submersible through the twisting paths. Every miscalculation caused the silver water to pulse violently, sending small shocks through the hull. The crew felt each pulse, a reminder that the ocean intelligence was alive and attentive. Dr. Leora whispered, "It's as if it can feel our intentions. The currents aren't random, they respond to our focus, our respect for this place." After what felt like hours, the submersible reached the center of the maze. There, a chamber opened to reveal a holographic map of Thalasia's oceans and skies, showing paths, energy flows, and the locations of the other galleons hidden beneath the waves. Ilara studied it closely. This is incredible. The Galleons are not just preserved history. They are a network, a guide. They were meant to be found together, but only by those who prove themselves worthy. Kale looked around in awe. In the silver waves, they are more than protection. They are teaching us, shaping our understanding, testing us at every step. The final trial was the most personal. The holographic projections shifted, displaying scenes from the crew's own lives, fears, and memories. The silver waves formed shapes that reflected doubts, regrets, and past mistakes. Captain Kale said quietly, "It's showing us ourselves." Ilara felt a shiver run down her spine. This is a test of character, not skill, not knowledge. They want to know who we are, why we seek this knowledge, and whether we can be trusted with it. Each crew member faced illusions tailored to their inner thoughts. Kale saw visions of failure, moments where his choices had led to loss. Dr. Leora confronted doubts about her worthiness, the fear that her discoveries might be misused. Ilara herself faced memories of decisions made under pressure. Times she had chosen duty over curiosity, caution over courage. But through each vision, the crew supported one another. They encouraged, guided, and reassured, demonstrating trust and integrity. The silver waves responded, glowing brighter with each step of understanding and courage. When the trial ended, the chamber filled with a serene light. The holographic figure of the ancient captain appeared one last time. "You have proven your courage, your unity, and your respect. You have passed the trials of the silver depths. Knowledge and guidance will now be revealed to you. Use it wisely, and remember that all that is given carries responsibility." The silver waves around the silver seraph flowed smoothly, no longer reactive but calm, as if acknowledging the crew's success. The ship itself seemed to breathe, its hull shimmering with a steady light. Kale exhaled. We did it. We passed. I can't believe it. Lara smiled, but her eyes were thoughtful. This is only the beginning. Passing the trials means the Galleons are now beginning to trust us. Their knowledge, their legacy, will be revealed gradually. But the real challenge will be learning to use it wisely. Dr. Leora moved among the artifacts, gently examining each one. The Galleons are teaching us not only about the past, but about ourselves. The trials. They were a way to show us that knowledge is earned, not simply found. The crew spent hours in the central chamber, exploring, documenting, and understanding the mechanisms of the Silver Seraph. Each discovery revealed more about the ancient explorers and the sentient energy that had preserved them. They learned how the Galleons communicated, guided, and protected. They began to understand the network that linked all the ships across the Lycia's oceans. Kale paused at a glowing panel. Captain, look. There's a pathway to the other Galleons. The energy lines in the water, they connect them. If we follow them, we can explore the entire network. Lara nodded. Then that is our next step. But we proceed with caution. The ocean intelligence is aware of our actions. We have earned trust, but not dominance. We are visitors, students of a legacy far greater than ourselves. As the crew prepared the Aegis to move again, the Silver Seraph's energy pulsed one final time, sending a gentle wave through the water. It was a greeting, a sign of acceptance. The trials had ended, but the adventure was far from over. Ilara gazed out of the submersible's viewport, watching the silver waves ripple and shimmer. We have been tested, she said quietly. We have proven ourselves capable. But the Galleon secrets are still vast. The lessons of the past are only beginning to unfold. The lost Galleons. Once dormant beneath the silver waves, had awakened fully now, not just preserved relics of history, but living guides, teaching humanity patience, courage, and responsibility. The ocean had judged the crew and found them worthy, and in return, it offered a path toward knowledge that could reshape humanity's future. Ilara felt a deep sense of awe and determination. We have learned much, but we must continue. There is more to discover, more to understand. The Galleons are guiding us, and we must follow with care, respect, and wisdom. And as the Aegis moved through the calm, silver waters, the crew realized that they were no longer merely explorers. They were students of the ocean, guardians of the past, and stewards of knowledge that had slept beneath the waves for centuries. The journey through the silver depths had tested them, shaped them, and prepared them for the challenges yet to come. Humanity's story was intertwined with the legacy of the Galleons, and the lessons learned beneath the silver waves would echo through the stars for generations to come. The ocean of Thalasia was calm, reflecting the twin suns above, yet beneath the surface, the waters shimmered with life. The Silver Seraph and the other Galleons, once silent, now pulsed with energy. Captain Ilara Voss and her crew of the Aegis felt the weight of anticipation as they prepared for the next step in their journey. The trials had been completed. Trust had been earned. And now the Galleons were ready to reveal their full legacy. Ilara, Lieutenant Kale said, his voice barely above a whisper. The energy readings are off the charts. The waves. They're lifting, I think. I think the Galleons are moving. Ilara stared at the display, awe and caution mingling in her mind. They are, but carefully. The ocean intelligence is guiding them, not us. We must follow, observe, and learn. As the Aegis descended to accompany the Silver Seraph, the largest Galleon began to rise slowly from the ocean floor. Its hull glimmered under the silver waves, light reflecting across the water like a ribbon of stars. Other Galleons followed, smaller, yet majestic, rising one by one. Forming a procession beneath the waves, Dr. Leora pressed her hands to the viewport, her eyes wide with wonder. They are beautiful, like ghosts of history, coming back to life. We are witnessing something no one else has ever seen. Kale adjusted the sensors. The energy patterns. They're synchronized. The Galleons aren't just rising. They're connecting, forming a network. It's as if the entire ocean is part of this awakening. Lara nodded. This is it. The moment the past and present meet, the Galleons have waited centuries for humanity to reach this point, to be ready for their knowledge. The silver waves around the ships shimmered with increasing intensity. Holographic projections appeared above the decks, showing charts, maps, and star systems. The images flickered like living memories, revealing discoveries made long before humanity left Earth. Planets, oceans, and distant continents appeared in glowing detail, showing roots and knowledge that had been hidden for centuries. The Galleons. They were explorers of not only oceans, but of space, Dr. Leora whispered. They discovered worlds beyond Earth and documented everything here. Beneath the waves, Kale smiled, unable to contain his excitement. And now we have access to it. Everything they learned. It's finally ours to see. Lara's mind, however, remained focused. Knowledge without understanding can be dangerous. We must learn from them, but we must also respect the guidance of the ocean intelligence. It has preserved this legacy, not just for us to use, but to honor. As the Galleons rose higher, the ocean itself seemed to respond. Silver currents swirled around the ships, forming patterns that guided the crew along the safest path. The Aegis followed, observing the rising fleet, recording data, documenting every detail. Then, the energy of the Silver Seraph shifted. A voice, calm and deep, resonated through the water, though no speaker was visible. It was the voice of the ocean intelligence itself, awakened fully by the trust and courage of the crew. You have proven yourselves worthy, it said. You have passed the trials of patience, cooperation, and understanding. You have faced the reflections of your own character and emerged with integrity. Now, the knowledge of the lost Galleons is entrusted to you. Use it wisely, and your civilization will prosper. Abuse it, and the legacy will be withdrawn. Returning to silence beneath the waves, Ilara felt the words as a physical presence, a weight pressing gently on her chest, reminding her of the responsibility she bore. We understand, she replied aloud, though no one could hear her through the water. We will respect this gift, and we will honor it. The Galleons began to form a circle on the surface of the water. Their positions aligned with the holographic maps, creating a grid of energy that spread across the ocean. Within this network, the crew could see pathways leading to every hidden Galleon. Every repository of knowledge, waiting to be explored. Kale pointed at the Aegis display. Look, Captain. The energy grid. It's stabilizing. The ocean intelligence is connecting the Galleons. This is a sustainable system. They can provide energy, guidance, even transportation across the planet, Dr. Leora added, and the technology. The maps, the propulsion mechanisms, the energy systems. This could change everything for our colonies. We could generate clean energy, purify water, and travel farther than ever before. All from these Galleons. Ilara nodded, her eyes scanning the horizon. But we must proceed carefully. Knowledge is powerful, but it is only useful when combined with wisdom. The Galleons will guide us, but it is up to us to choose how we act. The first crew members to step aboard the Silver Seraph were overwhelmed by the sights inside. Cabins perfectly preserved, control panels flickering with holographic projections, and maps stretching across the walls like glowing tapestries. The Galleon itself seemed to breathe, its energy pulsing softly beneath their feet. Dr. Leora moved through the corridors, touching the surfaces gently. Every detail, every tool. It is meant to teach us, to show us what was possible. The ancient explorers wanted us to learn, to carry forward their knowledge, and to build upon it responsibly. Kale explored the ship's hold, discovering storage compartments filled with navigational instruments, ancient journals, and devices that interacted with the silver waves. Captain, these ships are incredible. Not just preserved history, but fully functional. The technology here, it could power entire cities if we learn how to use it correctly. Ilara watched her crew work, pride and awe in her heart. We are witnesses and students. The Galleons have awakened for a reason. Our duty is to understand, protect, and share responsibly. As the sun began to set over Thalesia, The fleet of galleons floated majestically on the ocean's surface, silver waves flowing around them in harmony. Their energy radiated outward, reaching hidden parts of the planet, awakening other galleons that had remained dormant for centuries. A new feeling swept through the crew hope. This was not just a discovery of the past, but a promise for the future. Humanity had found knowledge, technology, and wisdom that could transform civilization, all preserved beneath the silver waves by those who had come before. Ilara stood at the bow of the Aegis, watching the waves shimmer. "The Galleons have trusted us," she said softly. "They have given us guidance, and now it is our responsibility to carry it forward. We must be careful, courageous, and wise. This is more than a discovery. It is a legacy." Kale placed a hand on her shoulder. "We've seen what the ocean intelligence can do. The Galleons are alive, and they are teaching us. I've never felt anything like this. It's beautiful and humbling." Dr. Leora smiled, her eyes glistening with tears. "The past and present are meeting here. We have a chance to learn from history in a way no one else has ever had. The Galleons are our teachers, and the ocean is our guide." Ilara felt a deep sense of purpose settle in her chest. The journey beneath the silver waves had begun with curiosity, moved through trials, and now reached a new chapter. Humanity had been given a gift knowledge preserved for centuries, guided by an intelligence beyond understanding, and now entrusted to those who had proven themselves capable. As the night settled over Thalesia, the twin suns reflected faintly on the silver-tipped waves. The Galleons remained on the surface, majestic and serene, their energy flowing in a network that connected them all. The ocean intelligence had revealed itself fully, but its presence was gentle, guiding rather than controlling, offering wisdom rather than command. Ilara took one last look at the silver seraph. "We are part of something greater than ourselves," she said quietly. "The Galleons are no longer sleeping. They are awake, and through them we can learn, grow, and guide humanity into a new era." The crew of the Aegis understood the enormity of what they had witnessed. The lost Galleons, once hidden beneath the silver waves, had risen not just as relics of the past, but as living teachers, guardians of knowledge, and guides to the future. Their legacy was now humanity's to protect and learn from. And somewhere in the depths, the remaining silver waves shimmered, holding other secrets, waiting patiently for those who would approach with respect, courage, and wisdom. The story of the lost Galleons was far from over. It had only just begun. Humanity had awakened a legacy beneath the silver waves, and the possibilities were endless.